This is Brad Reed, your real life trader, and I'm here reminding you to be good. And by good, I mean get out of debt and achieve your financial dreams. I'm joined by my dad, Ed Reed, in Austin, Texas, and my incredible, amazing partner, friend, Angie, who just does so much to keep me out of trouble and to keep things flowing. It's unbelievable. Angie's out in Sacramento. So, how are you guys doing? Angie, Dad, you there? Got your mics on?
Right here,
Oh, yeah.
Bradley, and doing great. It's a bright, sunshiny day, and yeah, thanks for having me on today.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Angie, you staying out of trouble?
Good break music, Brad.
All right.
Good break
Thank you.
music. I thought I
A
wa-
little bit of,
I thought I was detailed in my trading plan. I think you got me beat. Loved seeing
really?
that. Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay. So for those of you joining us on the recording, I have had a couple of requests by emails and in chat for me to go over my day trading plan. So I recorded a quick video. We will email that out to you either with this video or um, with so check the email that you're looking at now, come to think of. At any rate, we'll get that email, I can't talk. We will get the video link emailed to you shortly. I did it. I put together a complete sentence. Um, if you want to find my trading plan, uh, go follow the clicks that I've been doing. Go to realifetrading.com, go to articles, click on the day trading journal, real life trading journal, and then there are some arrow keys down here in the bottom right. And I'm watching my computer screen, waiting for my monitor to catch up so that the video and the audio is coordinated. And then I click on these arrows to move the tabs all the way to the right. And here it says Brad's day trading plan, and you've got the details. One plan I'm going to do here in the next week or so is start adding links. So we've been taking pictures of the stock trades that we do. And so when I have an example of a perfect gap and go that I traded according to my plan, and I have a picture of it and it meets all this criteria, I'll just put some links here. And when I have a picture of a day trade that meets this criteria, a gap and go that exceeded 1 or 2% in the 2 minutes, then I'll paste a link here. I should have those so I can go find those at any rate. So I'm always making improvements to something or another, and I will continue doing that. So thank you guys for joining us, and that's what we talked about a little bit in the first hour. We talked about a couple of trades. We were looking at Urban Outfitters, but it just never really did what we wanted it to do, kind of gaps too high. Some people were looking at AKRX. This is a trade setup that I kind of drew that never triggered, but there was some people were making lots of money on that today. I think some people got triggered in and actually made 2R in about the last 20 minutes. So they got triggered in and hit 2R just ridiculously fast. Nice guys on ACAD and also Cliff, CLF. Bud had an interesting gap, and you know what? I was talking about if it followed kind of this squiggly line, and that's exactly what it's doing, except it waited about 30 minutes to follow the squiggly line. So if you like bearish trades, and this is not necessarily for the recording, but for the people in the room today, here is the bearish gap on Bud. This gap is somewhat of a target. I guess that's where it's kind of sitting now. So some of the edge may be lost, but the fact that it gapped to just below the 50 EMA, it has retested the 50 EMA and then has been shoved back down. That's pretty bearish to me. So I think it still has a little bit of edge. If we click over here to the 5 minutes, I can draw an entry, and then I want to look at it on a 15-minute. And then I'll go on and take a look at the market indices. 15-minute breakout. Not real. It does look bearish on a 15-minute. I'm not real convinced about this current breakout. So let me just take a few more minutes and I will draw this, and then I'll keep on going. I love the fact that it's moving up right now. So that gives us time. The low there is 119.98. The low there is 119.98. So if this gets 119.96, and the ticker here is Bud, like Anheuser-Busch beer company, I'd put my stop a little bit above that candle. The high there is 120.14, but I want to reach up to some of the EMAs. Holy smokes. Sorry, the more I look at this, the more I really like it. There's not a lot of support between here and the low of the day. I'm still not taking bearish trades, but if I was, I would take this one. That is a little bit more than a 2-to-1 to the low of the day. I like it. Day traders, what do you guys think? On a scale of 1 to 10, at 10 being the most awesome, amazing trade setup you've ever seen in your life, and a 1 being, holy smokes, Brad, I can't believe you drew that and you're being recorded. Are you kidding me? What do you guys think of this setup?
I like that one
people
too.
are gonna say it again. Oh, you like? Okay, I thought you said you were giving me a 1 or 2. I'm like, really? I'm missing something.
I
But
like
that
that
happens.
one. I would publish that one on TradingView. I really like it.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. That is that. So we'll keep tracking it. I see some people liking it, but yeah, I'm not taking bearish trades, and I don't have a day trading software pulled up. I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't. So let's just keep on going. And Jeremy's, when he sees the video, he's gonna be like, what are y'all doing looking at all kinds of beer companies? No, we promised we're not doing any taste testing, although that might be nice. We looked at TAP, which is the Coors company ticker, and we noticed, holy smokes, this whole thing right in through here is sideways. And if I turn on the EMAs, it looks even more sideways. Come on, EMAs, you can do it. I did say EMAs, right? I must have hit the wrong one because that is something interesting. There we go. The exponentials, you see it going above and through, and yeah, that is definitely the definition of sideways. The Bollinger Bands are nice and wide. They're not pointing to a squeeze anytime soon. They are angled down, so keep that in mind if you do the bullish side. But we looked at an iron condor, and I'm going to turn on the stochastics and RSI very quickly. We did not see any bullish divergence or bearish divergence or any kind of signal that said not to do anything. So we thought this looked like a rather healthy iron condor. And I will say for those watching the video, well, I guess for everyone, credit spreads in general, if they go against you, they hurt. So if you have not practiced these, if you have not followed my 7 steps to creating your own strategy, if you have not practiced credit spreads, do not do this with real money. You can do it virtually. Love you to practice that, but be sure that you do a very thorough practice with credit spreads. They don't go against you very often, and when they do, they hurt, which makes them kind of dangerous. So you need to understand how to play defense. All right, that being said, we have kind of an iron condor drawn here. If you like really short-term credit spreads, we talked about a March 20th, so that expires not this coming Friday, but the next Friday. It only pays 4%, and actually 4% is kind of a long time for a week and a half. I mean, it's a low percent for such a long time, but it's a 67.5, so it'd have to break through the 200, which it looks like it's doing now, break through this support and break through this support to get close to you. But this purple line here is just below 70.76. That would be the line in the sand. And if you did do that one, I would just close it out for a small loss rather than trying to unravel. I think the one more people liked was the was one down here at 67.50. Where's my cursor? Yeah, 67.50 is down in this area for the short put, and that one pays closer to 13.6%, which is a little on the high side. Usually I get worried about that, but it is a lot of time. It goes until April 17th of 2015. So check your trading plan, see if trading a credit spread with that much time in it is not a violation. For me, I don't like to go over 3 weeks, and I rarely go over 4 weeks. So at any rate, the line in the sand again would be about the same. On the top side, on the call side, we did not see a bear call spread that we liked expiring March 20th, but we do have a couple that we like on April 17th. If you did the 8250, which is this one, the lower one, that pays 13.6%. If you got up above, let's see, the 8250, 85, which is up in here for your short call, that pays 8.7%. And I know there's a lot of people here at Real Life Trading that like to trade credit spreads in the 8 to 12% range. That's great if that's in your strategy. Personally, I like trading credit spreads that pay 6 to 8% per month. And I like those to do it in about 3 weeks. And the reason is 6% return in a month will double your account in a year. And credit spread, like I said, when they go against you, they hurt. So I like getting really, really far away from the current price action, getting my 6% a month to double my account in a year. And also one advantage is if this thing does break bullish, I've got lots of time to figure out if I want to unravel or if I want to close out before it starts going negative against me. But that's just my personal opinion. The important thing is that you have a trading plan, and that trading plan tells you what you need to do. And while I'm talking about a trading plan, there's a nasty rumor that there's a couple of traders that do not have a trading plan. So I already talked about this article here, how to build your trading plan. There's one over here, Engine Fire at 8,000 feet, reminds me of stock trading. I used to be a skydiver, and as a skydiver, you have all kinds of plans on what to do if things go wrong. And one time the engine on the airplane blew up at, we're about 8,000 feet. And yeah, at any rate, so I wrote an article about it. So if you don't have a trading plan, you need to get one. Okay, so those are some trades we've been looking at. Looks like Bud's getting close. There's the iron condor. Let's go take a look at the indices. I guess before I do that, Luis Marquez brought up a great and awesome point. Thank you, Luis, for sharing it. Actually, thank you for all of the real life traders for sharing. Luis, thanks, Angie, for typing in the Bud trade. Luis wanted us to, or asked me to remind everyone, and I thank him for doing that, that the VIX, this symbol is VIX. If you want a double leveraged VIX, you can look at TVIX. But at any rate, the VIX is it's an ETF that is sometimes called the fear index, and it measures the number of calls and the number of puts that are placed in the market. Long story, less long. If the market is going down, typically the VIX goes up. And so Lewis is pointing out, hey, if you want to hedge your portfolio with the market going down, you could buy some positions on the VIX or the TVIX, and as the market goes down, these VIX positions will go up. It is not exactly an inverse ETF, but it will work similarly. So thanks, Lewis, for sharing that. Now let's go see what the market is doing today. And it is bearish. So we've been talking about this for about 3 or 4 days and making plans on what would we do if, and the ifs have occurred. I'm going to take this off because we're not going to get to that anytime soon. I guess I don't, this is DIA. If you guys want, I'm going to switch over here to the SPY. So this one gapped down. Now here I've got mentioned X marks the spot. I kept saying, wouldn't it be nice if it would roll down? And it's rolling down a little bit faster than I had wanted it to. So let me come in through here And this line, we talked about how it was slowing down. And let's see, I'm not exactly sure who else charts these are, so I don't want to mess up somebody else's charts, but we can always redraw them again. We have a head and shoulders here, and the head and shoulders is playing out. This was the confirmation. This was the retest. This is for me at least, it was a bit of an unexpected gap down. Based on this retest, I like it better if that retest was a bearish candle to let us know that yes, this thing is continuing. But at any rate, this is a extremely bearish gap. It gapped below the 50 exponential moving average. So this thing is going to roll down. Now we've been talking about this line here. There's a 100 simple moving average coming in. So the problem with trading bearish in a bullish market is you never know when it's going to stop. So we might get one more day down tomorrow. We could get a gap down and trade bullish right back up tomorrow. Overall, I'm still bullish. I don't have much of a bearish sentiment quite yet. We do have a minor pivot point right in through here on the 100. So again, if we do go bearish tomorrow, that would be yet another target. Let's take a look on the weekly, and then I want to look at a bigger picture on the daily to see what we got. Okay, so we're pretty far away from the 100 on a weekly. We do have this channel that's been going in here for quite a while. So I draw that up to there. Yeah, I'm still thinking an X marks the spot trade, meaning as all of these different sources of support tend to merge, we may get a strong bounce here in the next day or two, and that would be a great opportunity to take it bullish. And remember what was going on at the end of January, early February. Remember everyone was saying, oh my gosh, 2015 is going to end up like 2014. We had a bearish January, and then it was just all doom and gloom, and then just pickoo! I mean, we had this bullish trade here, and it just took off. I mean, well, you guys see it. All of these incredible white candles, one after another. This doesn't happen very often. So this could be an extensive rest of this enormous, incredible bullish movement, or what I'm hoping for is we get this very same thing. So what I would really like is for this to kind of keep coming down, to slow down, right? This is very fast bearish movement, and bearish moves happen fast. They do. That is one good thing about trading bearish moves, that they go fast. But if this thing can slow down, let the 100 catch up, or catch up with this trend line over here, and we'll look for some sort of bottoming bullish reversal pattern here, and we'll buy the bounce and take it on up. That's my plan. Questions, thoughts, opposing views? Please type them in, especially if you have an opposing view. We had a little bit of conversation about this earlier. There are some people with drastically different trading plans than I have, and I would really appreciate getting different viewpoints, different things to put, different viewpoints to share. The important thing is that if you are trading stocks with real money, or even virtually, that you have a trading plan, and that you have tested that trading plan at least 100 times. And so if you see your setup, you know exactly what to do because you've already done it. Cool. Okay, off my soapbox for at least 30 seconds about trading plans. DIA looks very similar to SPY, except not quite so bearish. I didn't get such an incredible bearish gap on the DIA like I did the SPY, but we are coming into the 100, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Again, I would love to have maybe a little bit of a bullish candle tomorrow, then maybe some doji action, and here let this 100 come up, and then I would love a new white soldier that closes above that pivot point. And if we get that, that is the bounce. If we get that tomorrow, I would be skeptical depending on the volume, just because it's a little bit too soon and it's not at a good bounce location. But that is my artistic work of what I would like to see. Kind of looks like my 5-year-old drew it. All right, let's go on to the Russell 2000 IWM. Interesting long lower bullish buying tail here. This could be an extensive retest of this head and shoulders up here. The neckline of this head and shoulders is a little off due to the long tail here. So this could be telling us that the neckline is here, or we may go up a little bit more, but we sure are far away from the 100. I think we've got more bearish moves in store for the Russell 2000. Despite this tail is a very bullish tail, but we don't have quite the volume that I was hoping for. It almost looks like what this stock did today was open here, come down, roll up, and it looks like it may roll down again. This could be some sort of double. I'm making things up that haven't happened yet. So we'll just see what the Russell 2000 does, but we are a long ways from the 100 moving average. We do have a head and shoulders that has not fully played out. And this, the 50 exponential moving average, is exactly the reason why we bounced today. I'm not incredibly bullish on the Russell 2000, mostly because of what I just saw on the SPY and the DIA, but we'll just have to see what it does. Thinking of a short-term bear call spread right up in here, but you know what? Tomorrow's candle will be really interesting. And tomorrow is weekly Wednesday, so we may be looking at some bear call spreads up over this right shoulder, or if we get a bounce signal, we may be looking at a spread below the 100 or below the bounce. So tomorrow will be quite an interesting day. Okay, the QQQ looks a lot like the SPY. If we do get a close below here, which it looks like we definitely might, we have filled this gap. So this gap comes in. I've been talking for a week and a half now that this is a retest gap, and this could be retesting that gap. I wish we had another source of support right in here. So this gap has filled. And the question is it bouncing off the bottom of the gap and we're going to go back up, or could we roll down some more? I think based on what I've seen on the others, I'm calling for a little bit more of a downward move, but that's what a retest gap looks like after a couple. I mean, that's what a retest gap looks like, and this is exactly a retest. A wick usually comes down and either touches the top or the bottom of the gap. We're a long ways from the 100. I'm getting conflicting thoughts, as you can tell, on which way this thing's going. I bet it comes down a little bit more and touches the bottom of the band. Yeah, I bet this thing continues down to 105-ish. Maybe it's going to retest this gap as well before it bounces back up. That being said, I'm going to draw a horizontal line right in through here. Maybe I am. Let's put it this way. I would like to draw a horizontal line right in through here. Bam. And there it is. And yeah, by tomorrow, this Bollinger Band will come up. Note the bands are coming in, meaning that something's about to change. So I bet we may get 1 or 2 more days of bearish move and then we bounce. We'll see what happens. Today is, well, before I do that, questions, thoughts, opposing views on the indices. I'm getting a call PBR. So let's check the Bud trade, and people were in that. Ew. Well, this is why I'm not doing bearish trades. So this one did just wick us in and then stop out. I did not make that an official trade. I'm not sure if anyone did, but hopefully you traded your plan, because even if that one does not work out, you know that in the long run they will work out because you have tested your plan. PBR. Oh, this is a gappy petroleum stock that, yeah, it broke out of a pivot point and has continued on. So this is what it looks like on the daily chart. So yesterday it broke out. Today it had a very strong continuation of that break. A little wick up there to retest old support as new resistance. And on the 5-minute, let's see, I drew a little purple line of what I wanted it to do. I'm seeing some people talking about a trade. I don't know if they're talking about this breakout. This was a breakout of a new low, but this retest was a little bit too significant. That is some sort of, I'm going to cough, so excuse me for 3 seconds. All right, hopefully I didn't cough in your ear and I got that mute button figured out. At any rate, yeah, this does look like it's rolling over. If it does close below 531 or 530, I'm going to say, I do think it will continue bearish, but
Hello, Brad.
yes, ma'am.
You're back.
What's been going on?
Now you're back. You were gone for a minute, and now you're back.
Uh-oh, where did I leave off? Do I need to go back? I
don't think
basically
so.
said I don't have anything to talk significantly about. Okay. Some people are chatting about COP, saying that it may be coming into support. That's a 5-minute chart. Let's check it on the daily. It is coming into support. Ooh, I like that. Chevron Phillips, yeah, it has good volume. Earnings were end of January, so shouldn't expect them again till end of April.
Yeah, we lost you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
we
well,
can
Fading
hear
in
you
and out.
now.
Hopefully my computer is recording this, and so all of the audio, well, you know what, the webinar is recording it, not my hard drive. Well, I apologize. Angie, I've been able to hear you no matter what, so if you will get on me pretty quick if my mic goes out, I'll do the best that I can.
I sure am.
All right. Let's see. Okay, so I drew those lines I wanted to draw. I do like the Chevron Phillips trade. It is really far away from the EMA. We have had an enormous amount of bearish candles all in a row. So I would like for this thing to pop one more time, come up here, bounce, and by bounce, I mean rest. Also, if we were to get in tomorrow, we might have a stop in there. Yeah. So if we get a close below 60.61, I would be more bearish than bullish, but my problem is I don't have a good place to put my my stop for a good reward ratio. So I'd love this thing to go sideways just a tad. Sideways, kind of like it did there, except there it went sideways with some really big candles, with big bullish candles. I would like it go sideways with some really puny candles, and especially some candles with big upper wicks, and then I can place an entry right below here and a stop up above that. Let these 10s catch up, let the RSI and the stochastics rest. Wow, stochastics are really low, and so are RSI. So yeah, I'd like these to come up a little bit and then roll over. Let RSI come up and then roll over. So I would give Chevron Phillips maybe a week to marinate. But that setup looks great. The other day we were talking about LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a tech stock. So today's Tech Giant Tuesday, and it's still doing blah, just kind of going sideways. Was this the one where the Bollingers were coming in? Bam, yeah. So the Bollingers are coming in. We did talk about a squeeze trade the other day, and I think the squeeze trade still looks good. So depending on where your triggers would be, either down there below support or right there at the bands, you can trade your plan. I think that we do have a bull put spread on this. So I would say if we get a close below this long purple line here at 259-ish, if you get a close below that, then you should look to play defense, whether that's an unravel or just close it out. Questions, thoughts, opposing views on LinkedIn? I do kind of like that bracket trade. If it breaks down your target, are the simples coming in? Oh, thanks, Pat. Hey, Angie, could you take a look at some of those tickers that Pat Kaufman has just typed in, and we'll take a look at those here in about 20 minutes or so. So symbols are far away. If you do want to take LinkedIn bearish, if it pops bearish, here's a great target somewhere around 245-ish. The 100's going to come in. If it does break down and you do not buy it bearish, we have a great X marks the spot location right in there. If LinkedIn gaps one way or another and clears those pivot points, I think it'll be a very, very strong day trade opportunity. All right, Apple is one we commonly talk about, and it's moving pretty slowly, but moving in a constant direction. So if you own shares of Apple and you hadn't already purchased a protective put, now would be the time to do so. It has filled this gap, and one thing I've started doing in the last 2 to 4, 6, 8 weeks, I don't know, for a short amount of time now, is I draw pictures on the chart that I expect the stock to do, and then if it fills in the picture, then I trade it. So I know some people, they write out what their trading plan would be. I kind of draw a picture, and then if the stock does what's on my picture, then I kind of take it to the next step, and that's when I write out my numbers. At any rate, I would anticipate that Apple does pretty easily come down here to this gap in here. This looks a lot kind of like the DIA or the SPY, where it had that double gap action, and it's coming down to retest it. So it's moving on down the road. No, it's ease on down at any rate. Yeah, so I am short term, and by short term, I mean the next day to 3, short term bearish on Apple. Interesting. I'm wondering what kind of bear call spread action we might be able to get for this week. Type in a 3 if you would be interested in a bear call spread on Apple, given that candle that we got today that is pretty darn bearish. This one, let's see, I'm looking at March 13th. So this is Friday. Those are the calls. These are need the calls. And I'm looking out of the money. So I would want one up here. 130, 131 would be, 131 would be amazing. 131 pays 2%, not so good. 130 pays 4%, that's not bad for 3 days. 129 pays 8%, and 129 is going to be too close, I think. Yeah, I would not do 129, but I've got 5 days of wicks that all come up to about 129.61. So this 130 would not be completely horrible. Let's see where the EMAs are. We got a ways to go before we find support. I got a call for Apple going down, I think another 2 to 3 to 4 days. So if you like a bear call spread that pays about 4% up here around 130, and it's in your trading plan, done it before, there you go. Yeah, Pat says she never gets in front of Apple, meaning she doesn't want to put a spread in the direction. So yeah, I would not be doing a bull put spread down here, hoping it'll bounce. You know, you might even look at a 134 spread that goes out a couple of weeks. That might be interesting too. A 134, 135 bear call spread up here above that pivot, because I do think it rolls down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Apple, LinkedIn, Netflix has been doing interesting things lately. So Netflix has traded to the target that we had called out based on this pivot point back here. So your protective put should be insanely profitable right now, and should cover any losses that you had on your shares. Hopefully it does that. If I were in this trade and I dumped my shares at the top of this pattern, and I got a protective put maybe on this candle, which is what was our plan, and sold the shares on this day, which was our plan, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bearish candles all in a row, and I have 7 out of 8 bearish candles all in a row. This is a pretty bullish pattern. We're certainly coming into a target. We're coming into the 50 EMA. That's a very long-winded way to say we're coming into a target on about 4 or 5 different ways that you look at it, based on the number of bearish candles, based on the EMAs, based on this pivot point. These are all saying that, hey, you got a target. The simples, I think, are not anywhere close. There's a chance we come down here to the 200, but if you have this protective put and you are profitable, you can go ahead and get ready to exercise that either today, tomorrow, now. Anytime, I think, in this range here is a good place to sell your put or exercise it. If you still have the shares and you didn't exercise and you didn't do the stop, you can sell these shares for, you know, 468, 470-ish, wherever you bought your put. Actually, you probably bought it at 465. But you can sell these shares at 465. You probably bought on one of these candles, and that's not a bad return for, what is that, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? Anybody do that? Type it in if you did, but love it when a plan comes together. Hope everyone that was in Netflix protected themselves, but I think the bearish edge has worn. I'm calling for some sideways, maybe even an upward rotation back up to here based on this candle and that candle. I think we come up, and then it'll be a key point if we roll over again, or we could go back up. Questions, thoughts, opposing views, additional views, comments. What do you guys think about Netflix? Let's see, I got plenty of time. Nice. Amazon is kind of following suit there. 2 really bearish candles out of the last 3. You know, a while ago, I mentioned that when the market goes bearish, it goes much faster than when it goes bullish. One example is when the market crashed in 2008. It took 6 months to go down and took 4 years to recover that very same amount. What we're seeing here on Amazon is in 3 days, it went down the same amount that it took it 6 weeks to go up. So if you know how to trade bearish and you know when to trade bearish and it's in your trading plan, yeah, you can make money with the stock going down. Okay, Amazon, this is the one that we've been looking at divergence on, and remember, bearish divergence doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go to 0. You could get some sideways, but this is some pretty striking move. The divergence looks like it, I was going to say on the Stokes. What am I seeing? So RSI, yeah, here, let let me redraw it. Maybe someone's seeing this for the first time. Market's going up, excuse me, Amazon's going up, but the RSI is going down. You also see this kind of rolling pattern. That means that the momentum's coming out, and the momentum has come out. So now the question is, where is it going to stop? And when is a good place to buy to get back in? And the question is, does it go down to that pivot? I do think it would go down to that pivot. I would not be trading that. Will it come all the way down to the 50? Will it retest this retest gap? Stay tuned for next time of this episode. I don't see a lot that would stop it before it gets to this pivot point. So we have had some really strong bearish candles all in a row. I'm guessing it's sitting right now on the 20 simple moving average of the Bollinger Band. Oh no, it's in the bottom of the band. Interesting. All right, so because of that, because of this strong sudden move, I do think there's going to be a few buyers that come in. I think it's going to go sideways for a little bit, but I do think it has a great chance of rolling back down. But the fact that it's already into the bottom band right here, well, this was a squeeze. Yeah, I think sideways to a little bit more bearish perspective. I think the first target is 364.47. A bear call spread, if you can get it above 390, would just be amazing. I doubt there is premium there, but if you can get it for this week or next week, that would be a hot tamale. If it, yeah, I think it's gonna, it may come down tomorrow, but certainly if we get a big one tomorrow, I expect a little bouncing around the 365, 370-ish area. And then I'm thinking we may continue down. We'll just have to see. I need more candles to make that determination. But I do think we can watch this thing go down to 365 and pause for a little bit. And then we might be looking for an entry. If it pauses at 365 and we get a close below this pivot point, I think that would be a great indication that this thing will go down to the simple moving average and or retest the opening of this big retest gap we got back here in at the end of January. Oh, how nice would it be if we get a close about here with a bearish candle, and then we come down here to retest the gap right when the simples come in, and we get a bounce somewhere in that area. I would like that quite a bit. All right, so we'll see if it's going to do what it's going to do. And we have quite a few gaps more. I'll tell you what, let me do one more. I want to do two more of these tech tickers, and then we'll take a look at gaps for tomorrow. So big talk today was BABA. When we were looking at it this morning, it looked pretty darn bearish, but now it's got some bullish action going. So the real question we've been having is this breakdown going to be a new low and continuing lower, or is this absolutely rock star crucial key pivot point? Is this a bounce location and we just have a bit of a sloppy bounce? Based on today's candle, and you know I've been talking about retests of breakouts, this candle, this bullish candle we have today looks like a retest of this light blue line. If we get a bearish candle tomorrow that closes below here, I would be more bearish than bullish. So let's draw this line because it looks like it's going to be rather significant. I would draw it there. That's a very conservative drawing of that line. Put a horizontal, let's see. I'm going to put an end of day trigger here. If you like bearish trades, if they are in your trading plan, you can take that one bearish. Sorry for making noises with the microphone like that. EMAs, where are you? I'm looking for a great location to place my stop, and that is pretty annoying that the EMAs are so far away. I would like for this thing to go sideways a little bit more in this area. If it pops up to here, I would not abandon it, but I would like for it to respect these two pivot points for another day or two. And so basically I'm calling for this thing to marinate, but Luis Marquez got in a 10 EMA rollover strategy. I think it was on this candle. It might have been this one, but he got an entry right up in here. His stop is up in here, and he's looking at, I don't know, what are you up, 10R on this trade already? Luis Marquez is an amazing trader. If you get to see one of his trade ideas, which he posts, and he posts them frequently, I would strongly recommend that you pay attention to it, but again, make sure it is a plan that you have tested. All right, as far as the stop location, that's why I'm kind of pausing here. I don't have a good one. I would probably the biggest stop I could consider, and I really don't like this one, would be slightly above this candle that we got today. And sorry, I've got a day trade on there. And maybe, can I take that day trade off? I can. Would be a stop above this candle, but that is really, really wide. And I don't have the 10 EMA. So I want this to go sideways, let the EMAs come in, and I'm hoping for a much tighter stop location based on candles and the 10 EMA. So for right now, I'm going to let BABA marinate, but I would like it to do a day or two of sideways. Oh, here's what, sorry, let me draw this a little bit more cleanly on BABA. I want a descending triangle on BABA. I want something like this. Maybe only 2 bumps, but at least 2 before getting in with a close below there. Questions, thoughts, opposing views on BABA? Lewis says he closed it today, and he's doing a similar strategy on CLF. Lewis, what is, do you mind telling us how many R's you got on the BABA trade? And while you're doing that, I'm going to switch over here to Goog. Well, I wanted to switch to Google, but I ended up getting Goog. And Google looks very much the same. Okay, I was hoping for a rollover, but I don't think we got that. So you've got about 16 minutes to buy a protective put on Google, and I would do so. The 560 looks like a juicy strike price coming in. Maybe 557.50 if they, I'm not even sure if that exists. Yeah, I think I would do the 560. And then if this continues down, we're likely to get stopped out. And then of course the question is, how far will it go? Let's pull some more data up on here. I'm seeing a little bit of a strong pivot area down here at 553. I'm trying to figure out why that stop is there. I'm sure I had reason for doing it in the last day or two, but now I'm having less and less faith in it. At any rate, trade your plan, not my plan, but I would be looking at these 2 purple lines for targets on Goog with an L. Yeah, I think buying a protective put might be a lucrative strategy for Google right now. I'm going to switch over here to the oscillators. I know they're not as pegged as I thought. This stochastics is turning down, but it looks to me, based on this stochastics location, this thing has a lot more room to go bearish. And RSI certainly has another day or 2 to go bearish, but it'll be interesting to me if RSI goes below this pivot point here. And if it does, well, at any rate, that would, yeah, that would fascinate me. So we'll just see what happens. Sorry for thinking out loud. Ooh, I do like the stop here because that is now the where the 20 EMA is going to come in. So I bet we go a little bit sideways. I bet this thing slows down, and we may get the hookup pattern. If we get a close below the stop or get close to one of these targets, you can think about closing out your protective put. That's my plan on Google. Angie, what do we have that is, Lewis says he, how many R's is that, Lewis? Angie, what kind of gap action are we might be expecting tomorrow?
We have, according to the Pat Kaufman, gapping down tonight, SINA, S-I-N-A.
All right. See, what did Bud do? Oh, Bud ended up rolling over. It went up, hit the, well, okay. We were right on the sentiment, just wrong on the numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn Bud off. Let's go back to SINA. Let me turn on the EMAs. Let me get my gap trading picture here. So SINA has been making a bit of a bearish run, meaning that a bullish move. The simples I think are going to be above it, and they are. That makes a bullish gap a little bit more challenging. There are a lot of targets for a possible bullish move, and I don't think I like any of them. Sorry guys, I don't like.
And your volume went away again. Hello? Testing, can anybody? Now you're back. Sorry.
There you go, Angie. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Oh shoot, had my mic gone out?
Yep.
Well, I hadn't. Going through all of the gaps that I've been looking at are all a little bit too low volume. Wow, 7 million shares. This one has plenty of volume.
Mm-hmm.
So earnings coming in. Oh man, I would love a gap above this wick. That wick is hard to see. That is 1097. A gap above 1097 would be, I would be drooling over this. Stock market's been a little bit slow the last day or two. I'm not sure if it's the bearish moves that everyone's kind of pausing or if it's spring break. I'm trying to think if I like a bearish move below here. It would be quick. It would be a gap and go. There's a really strong pivot point right down there. Okay. So I would call for a gap above 10. I want that to be 97, please. Can my hand do it? No, it cannot. So I like 1097 for the top. And I really like 1097. I want a bullish gap. We'd love for this thing to trade up to somewhere around in the 1230 area. Man, it could go all the way up to this pivot point at 1280. That'd be craziness though. Yeah, that'd be a 20% move. So yeah, I think a target of somewhere around 12 would be good. After it retests down to 1097. Bearish, it would be a gap and go if it went bearish, but this would not be an awful target down here at 568. Cool. All right, let me save this. And Angie, do we have a next ticker after Ocwen Financial?
Hey, P-A-Y. How's the volume on that?
Hey, I heard pay. That's totally the way. All right. By the way, if you think I have bad jokes now, you should have heard the bad jokes that I would do when I was teaching in Fortune 500 companies. It was almost like a game. How bad of jokes could I make? How How much pain could I put the class into? Okay, this one is, it's not pretty. It's not, what I'm looking for here is a strong support, because if it gapped down and didn't clear a strong support, it would just hit a target and turn right around and go back. I'm looking at this action here. I'm looking at this action here. Angie, what was our definition of smaction? We talked about that in the first part of the session, and now I forgot. And it was my word too.
We
This would
did.
be
That's what we were watching for and had a trading plan set up on a stock, and this is what we're watching for, and if it does this, then we'll see smaction. Yeah. Pat says hit it and go. I love it.
All right. 3472, it'd be a very nice location for a bullish gap and go. There's a nice strong pivot area in here based on these two candles, based on the wick there. These are some strong candles on some incredibly strong volume here. And ooh, that's a nice break, nice gap in there. So 3472 would be amazing. This is a gap and go with that long tail. This could easily be a perfect gap and go. So what I say, 3472, let's switch on the simples, and that's going to ruin everything, but only by a few pennies. So I would say 3518. Is that right? Yeah, 3518. Come on, mouse. 19 is close enough. No, it's not. Let's do it right. 3518. So yeah, a gap in this area or a gap above in this area would be one that I would anxiously look for an entry opportunity. I like that a lot. Cool. While I'm saving this, what is next?
Gapping tomorrow morning. Yeah, gapping tomorrow morning. Pat says EXPR. That's the last one on her list.
All right.
Pat,
That's
thank
enough.
you. Thank you for doing that for us.
Absolutely, Pat. That really takes a lot of work and load off of our shoulders, and you always do a great job. So I really cannot express enough how much we appreciate that. All right, that's an old trade. I like this pivot point right in there. I'm going to snug that up a bit. The bottom of this is 1266. I'm going to bring that up about 4 pennies. When you are swing trading, pennies are not so important, but when you are day trading, a penny can make a world of difference. On the top side, I do like the fact that it just closed above the 200 on this big, huge candle. The problem is there's so many bears that got in today. Oh man, Angie, if this thing gaps down tomorrow, down here,
yeah,
there's going to be so many people trapped. This thing's going to go super fast.
Yep.
And that would be above
chaos.
Ooh. And I almost hate saying I hope it gaps down here, because that means all of these people are going to be hosed. If it gaps up, there is a lot of congestion, but I think that would be what I'd be calling for. That is above the SMAs, that's above the pivots. Anything else, you're going to be running into a target there, you're going to be running into a target there. That's going to be a strong target. This may be more off of the SMA than it is anything else. So and so I think really your first target may be there. Okay, so my call for Express is I like that store. I like that store. Okay, call for Express. If it gaps up above 1532, I'm going to wait for a long retest. 30 minutes, maybe an hour of these bulls coming out, unless it, if it were to gap up like into the 1570 range, 1580, and then have a real strong retest, and then give me a good bounce off of this support, I would like that. But realize, I guess my point is that there are a lot of bullish traders, and if this thing gaps up, they may be selling. Yeah, they may be selling. There sounds like a song there. There may be selling. Oh, swinging. Never mind. If it gaps down, this is going to be an absolutely amazing gap and go. And by amazing, it's going to go fast. So think about your reward and risk, and have fast fingers, because this thing's going to fly. We will certainly be watching this on the morning floor tomorrow. Delete. EXPR. All right, what else? Got anything else? Got about 2 minutes left. But that is 3 very nice gaps to look. Netflix.
Hmm.
Why do I have Netflix still up here? Was I going to type something up about that? I have OCN. I have EXPR. Did I miss a trade? Did I accidentally change it? Well, let's see. We got two more minutes. OCN pay. This is supposed to be pay, I bet. Oh, I know what I did. I was doing this before. Dagnabbit. All right, so I'll have to go back and see what I said about payphones, about Verifone. Let me get some more data on here. I bet you I said a gap below there. Guys in the chat pane, let me know if you remember kind of what I said about Verifone. That would help me out. I've done about over 6 hours of webinars today, and my brain's just a little bit fried, so I apologize. 3039, it's going to be here. But I'm happy to do it. I actually do have fun doing these. I really do. But I just don't have the endurance that Mr. Awesome does. 3863 is close enough to that. That is some sideways looking stock. If we had more time, I would consider credit spreads on that. Oh, so earnings are coming up in the next 12 hours, next 18 hours. So I was thinking after earnings, it might be interesting to look at an iron condor, but after earnings, usually the volatility is just sucked completely out of it. If you like credit spreads, you may consider an iron condor depending on where this thing gaps tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out if I would do a gap and go if it gapped above that. I think I would. I am going to bring that. This one's going to be difficult to day trade if it goes bullish, because there are lots and lots of pivot points. Maybe that's why I didn't have payphone. Maybe I just turned it off. I think I would love for it to gap down for a retest gap. All right, that's interesting how I have all these named. All right, I got to clean up my tabs. Anything else I need to look at, Angie?
I think Lorenzo
think
just
that's
had a
it.
quick question, and Ken had an awesome joke, and that's it for the day.
Lorenzo had a question. Did he get it answered?
No, we were on. Oh my goodness, Lorenzo, were we on EXP?
Wait for thing for the.
I think we were on EXPR. He was
Okay.
asking about a double top.
Or is this S? This is in double top in a resistance area, or is it retesting? Talking about EXPR or Sprint? I'm going to go a little bit long just so I can take care of Lorenzo's question.
Oh, Sprint.
Don't-
Hey. Sorry.
Not Sprint, Verifone? Sprint, okay. EXPR. Let me get all my windows cleaned up or else I lose stuff. So you go over there and I'm changing to Sprint. Okay. I would not call this a double top because it's not is not at the best location. I do see what you're saying on Sprint. My guess would be is that it comes down, bounces off of that 100. We may come down here again if that 100. Let's see, that 100 is not going to go down much. Yeah, the 100 will go down a little bit more, I think, tiny bit. I bet this thing comes down and bounces off the 100 and comes up to check out this gap or maybe even come up to the 200. I see it making higher lows. It's making higher highs. I think this was just to recheck this trend line and also to retest the breakout of this pivot point. I'm not sure what I'd call this thing. It's not a double bottom. It's not an inverted head and shoulders, but it's some sort of bottoming pattern. This could be the retest of that bottoming pattern, but yeah, I think maybe 1 or 2 more days of downward motion, but I think this thing's going to go up. Is that your question, Lorenzo? If not, send me an email, brad@reallifetrading.com. Lorenzo, I will certainly get you taken care of, brad@reallifetrading.com. I hate to cut you off, but I'm not supposed to go long, and I am going long, so going to have to turn it off for now. Thank you, everyone, for watching the video. Thank you guys for being part of the Real Life Trading family. I hope your life is awesome. And if I know everyone has challenges in their day-to-day, but just remember that there's 7 billion people on the planet. About 2 billion people don't have any food today, and a little over 6 billion people do not have access to meat today. So I hope you can help keep your perspectives, your problems in perspective, and tackle them with a sane mind. Until then, I'll see all of you wonderful people tomorrow, and trade on logic, not on hope. Thank you guys for being here.